All these years, I had been chasing a goal out of reach, a state of existence that is unattainable, a life free from pain and suffering, a life that is only filled with goodness. And I believe that many of us share the same goal because it is in our nature to desire happiness and pleasure and to despise pain and suffering. And with this video, I hope to help some of you from making the same mistake that I did. And in the course of thinking about my goal, I find two errors that explain why my goal is unattainable. The first error is that I did not see pain as part of reality, and I thought that pain was something that can be avoided if I was careful enough about it. But the fact is that pain is part of reality. It's just as real as the happiness and the pleasure that you seek, and as long as you're alive, you cannot avoid experiencing pain because that's what reality is. A reality cannot be real if something is taken out or if something that is not real is added to the reality. If you remove a part of reality or add something that is not real to it, then it becomes a vision. Say that my hand is the reality and these fingers are part of that reality. So if I remove one finger, that is removing part of the reality, then it's not real because I have 5 fingers. I don't have 4 fingers. Never mind that, I think I'm just making things more complicated than it needs to be instead of clearing things up. Anyway, if you take something out of reality, then whatever remains becomes the reality that you want, but it's not the reality that exists. A vision can become a reality, but reality itself is not a vision. Although suffering can be avoided by recognizing it, I will speak about this in a bit, but for now let us understand that pain is part of reality as it currently exists, and to live without pain is only wishful thinking. Pain is just an effect of something that happened to us or something that has something to do with us. And it is a fact that most of the things that happens in the world are beyond our control. And these events that happen will affect us in one way or the other. We may be unbothered by what happened and we say it does not concern me. But if you think about it, being unbothered by what happened is also itself an effect of that thing that happened. And if it is the case that we are bothered by what happened, then how that even affects us determines whether we feel pain or not, whether that thing that happened inflicts pain on us or not. The intensity of the pain that an event inflicts on us, I think that has to do with how important we deem the thing that happened to be. I'm not speaking of physical pain here. Even if you think that your arm is not more important than your earlobe, piercing your arm will hurt more than piercing your earlobe. We cannot control the thing that happens most of the time, and we cannot stop the things that happen from affecting us unless we have mastered stoicism, right? Regardless of whether you want pain or do not want pain, it will come time after time because it is only natural for us to experience pain. I have come to realize that it is foolish to waste resources on things that we cannot control. You cannot stop a meteor from falling to earth, and you cannot also make a meteor fall to earth. You can only react when it happens and then try to control what happens after that. Compare the falling of meteor to pain and the destruction that follows as suffering. We cannot stop the meteor from falling, but we can keep the destruction to minimum, none if possible. Suffering is a choice we make. Most often we make the choice unaware that we are choosing to suffer. Most often than not, we suffer because we are unable to recognize what is making us feel pain, or when we choose to cling on to what makes us feel pain.
Prolonged pain is suffering.
In other words, recognizing the cause of suffering, that is the pain, is the first step in being delivered from the suffering. You have to know what is wrong in order to have a solution, right? If you don't know what the problem is, you cannot solve that problem. Suffering is a problem, and the first step to having a solution for that suffering is to first identify what is making you feel pain. For example, the moment that you get a cut on your finger, you feel pain. You feel the pain, but then it's not like you suffer from it. But if you let the wound go untreated, there's a chance that you will get infected and then you will start suffering from that cut, right? That's suffering for me. You can only choose to feel the pain and avoid suffering if you are careful enough to understand the pain and find a way to heal that pain before it develops into suffering. The second reason why my goal was unattainable was because I considered goodness to be an inherent attribute of an event. But the truth, I think, is that events does not possess any other attributes other than the physical ones, right? Take an example of a stone that is falling. That is something that is happening. The stone is falling, right? Who threw it? Why is it falling? Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about the stone is falling. That is an event. The fact that the stone is falling is not good in itself. It's not bad in itself. it's just falling. The only attributes that it has are how fast the stone is falling and in which direction, right? The size of the stone. So stuff, those things are physical. But it does not possess the quality of good and bad. If the stone hits a person in the head, then that person will say that it is bad that the stone fell. But then if that stone falls on a thief who is trying to get away, then the person will say that it's good that the stone fell and hit the person, right? It's not like the falling of a stone has something good and bad in itself. The goodness and badness of a thing are not inherent attributes. What you deem good today might be bad tomorrow, and what you deem bad today might be good tomorrow. The goodness and badness of an event or thing that happens depends on two things: the individual and the time. It is inconsistent, so it is not a proper metric to measure an event with. So yeah, there is nothing that is objectively good and bad. Even pain. Pain can be good sometimes. Pain can make you grow. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And life in general is considered hard and bad because we try to take control of things that are beyond us. And if we stop doing that, then maybe we'd be more happy and satisfied. Well, that's about it. Hope you learned something new from this video, and thanks for watching.